Mass, we hear that famous story of love. Love is patient, love is kind, from St. Paul, Paul's letter to the Corinthians. And right after that, and Mike is the one who chose these readings, right after that is the Gospel of the Beatitudes. And even though they were not written at the same time, they're one of the few things in the New Testament that are actually directives. Most are stories. And these are directives, or telling us how to celebrate. From Paul's letter to the Corinthians. Love is never rude, it's not self-seeking. It doesn't brood over injuries. Or, from the Gospel, blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek. From Paul's reading. There is no limit to love's forbearance, to its trust, its hope, its power to endure. And yet, we have supplanting that, or supplementing it, in the Gospel. We have, rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. We could take, if you take these two readings and go back and forth, you can see how it's a complete and total picture. Again, not written together, nor by the same person, but the message of what it means to be a Christian. In the first reading of today's Mass from Isaiah, which is not a Christian reading, but it's of the Hebrew Scriptures, we hear the very beginning says, on this mount the Lord of hosts will provide for all the peoples. Michelle's job, at least one that you choose to embrace, was providing opportunities of people to witness to the Lord, all people. In full disclosure, one of the reasons that Mike and Michele and my friendship has thrived over these many years is that we have very similar political persuasions. And we felt that sometimes in Ojai, to express it, we couldn't say it too much out loud. So we were clandestine in our discussions and always looked forward to them. And the great thing about Michele and Mike is that they also chose to live out their convictions. Michele was not political, yet she was. She was not radical in her faith, yet she was. The word that must be used for Michele is that she was holy. She was W-H-O-L-L-Y, the fact that she was put together with her emotions and her understandings of life and celebrated God through that and had an understanding of what we were called to do. And holy, because she delighted in doing God's message for other people. She was a person who didn't complain about politics nearly as much as she put into practice what she believed in. Her work with the poor and the homeless, her work with reaching out to the people whom were maybe not recognized as much as they should. That was Michele. And in that process, we were privileged to experience a very holy person. She didn't just know the Scriptures, she lived the Scriptures. She didn't just get sensitized to people because of God's Word. She reached out to those people because of God's Word. And she and Mike were a union. And together, they have a real understanding. They wouldn't call themselves holy, because holy people often don't. But I'm calling them holy. They knew what it was to be a follower of Jesus Christ. And to be a follower of Jesus Christ sometimes means almost always ends up meaning that there will be suffering and resurrection. How shocking it must have been for you, Mike, the day that she was in doctor's office, and then suddenly he came with that very sad news. How shocking that must have been. But for those of us who try to be holy, we have an understanding that there is never resurrection without the cross. Michele is receiving her gift. The cross right now is being carried to you, Mike, as if it were a race, and the runner in front was passing the baton off to you. So how can we say that this is more than just sadness? The Catholic Church uses the word celebration of death, really the celebration of a continuum of life. St. Paul says that life hasn't ended, that through death life hasn't ended, it's changed. But this is a real continuation for Michele. Living a holy life, have an understanding of Jesus Christ, have an understanding of the Scriptures, knowing that those messages are to be reached out to other people. It isn't just to feel sorry for them, nor to condemn somebody, but it's to reach out to them, to the homeless, to those who are downtrodden, to those who are victims of prejudice. And she was Jesus to countless other people. She's receiving a reward that none of us could provide for her. So I'd like to suggest that the cross maybe isn't her cross, but the cross is yours, Mike, and your family. And that my prayer is that the resurrection that she had an understanding of, that understanding of resurrection, that no matter how sad something is, we continue. And if we loved a person, in their memory, follow the examples that they themselves lived out. Maybe that's what the rest of us are here for. To follow her example as a person who chose not just to read the Scriptures, but to live the Scriptures. May her soul and the souls of all the faithfully departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace.